we have this obsession as cyclists. Weight is so important. Like, I mean, we all know we want our bike to be as light as it possibly can. We want our everything. We spend thousands for the bike to be light. So we all get into this idea of like, okay, well, I need my body to be as light as it can too. And yeah, before I even really knew anything about road cycling at all, I knew that I felt like I had to starve myself, like literally before I'd even done a road race in my life, I was already like just, weighing my food, doing all that. And there's in some ways, it's good that there's a higher level of consciousness when it comes to your diet when you start trying to really and keep in mind, I guess I should always mention that like I was on at this team, the action cycling team, and that was my goal was to get to the highest level of the sport. So it was a serious thing. It wasn't like a weekend warrior type gig that I was doing this for. But yeah, basically one thing led to another, and I just found myself eating nothing. And it wasn't like a disordered eating. It was more so just that I just thought that's what you had to do. Like,
Totally.
as a bike rider, you eat salads for dinner every night, like no questions asked. And I did my first entire season just literally just eating super 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 light on every dinner, and just miserable. Honestly, I remember that summer and I just was absolutely miserable. And I'll never forget, I did my very first tour of Utah that year, and Teo Gegenhardt, who's now a Grand Tour winner, was on my team at this time. And he would always kind of see me eating, a salad while we're in the Tour of Utah race, like a 7-day ridiculously hard stage race. And I'm eating salad for dinner, and he would always just tell me like, no, dude, like in the race, you got to just accept your weight and like just smash the food. But I was like, yeah, I know more than you, Teo Gegenhardt. And so yeah, I did the first couple of stages, and I remember the stage, I barely finished the stage. I was so weak. And that night at dinner, I like cracked, just totally cracked on my diet, my salad diet, and I just went nuts. I just ate plate after plate of brownies. Never forget it. It was a real story. Next day was the first mountaintop finish. Third stage, I barely finished the stage in the gruppetto. And I literally remember thinking after the stage, like, all right, I don't think I'm made for the sport. Like, what am I doing here? I'm way out of my league. Eat the brownies, wake up the next day, got the glycogen tank finally topped off for the first time literally in the year. And I beat Teo, I beat all these guys. I would have been the best young rider on that mountaintop finish, but I'd already lost like 40 minutes the day before because I barely finished the stage. And that was kind of the first time when I realized like, wow, like you gotta get those carbs in, like, and yeah, it's probably not ideal to eat brownies, but just the simple fact of getting that glycogen tank topped up with the carbohydrate, we all know how to do it. That just was like just night and day difference. I was a different human. And that's when I really realized you gotta eat, and that's kind of, that's my first little anecdote tip. It's way better to be stronger, especially for these young guys. Eat the food, let your body, don't fight your body's natural development. Like if you're going to be a big tall rider when you're 17, 18 years old, it's very possible that you have a body of a child still. And I see it all the time. These poor kids, they try and fight their natural development, and they just are miserable, they hate their lives, and they end up quitting. And I see it all the time.